Your teenager looked you in the eye this morning and lied to you. And the shocking part? It's actually your fault.
And before you close this video, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to explain something that most parenting books get completely wrong. Because the question isn't, why do teenagers lie? The real question is, why do they feel like they have to? And the answer is going to be uncomfortable. But once you understand it, something changes in them and in you. So stay with me, because around the 4-minute mark, I'm going to share the one thing that parents consistently do, completely unintentionally, that makes lying feel like the only safe option for a teenager. Let's start at the beginning.
The myth of the bad kid. Most parents who come to me frustrated about their teenagers lying say the same thing. I raised them to be honest. I don't know where this is coming from. Here's what they don't realize. Lying is not a character flaw. It's a communication strategy. And your teenager didn't learn it from nowhere. They learned it from you. Wait, don't turn this off. This is important. When your child was 5 years old and they broke something, what happened when they told you the truth? Were they celebrated for their honesty or punished for what they broke? If the punishment came anyway, even after the confession, your child's brain did what all human brains do. It ran a simple calculation. Truth equals pain. Lie equals safety. That equation gets reinforced over years, and by the time they're 15, it's automatic. They're not being manipulative. They're being efficient.
The science behind it. What's actually happening in their brain? Here's something that should genuinely change how you look at your teenager. Between the ages of 12 and 25, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and long-term thinking, is literally still under construction. What is fully developed during the teenage years? The emotional brain, the part that responds to fear, shame, and social rejection. So when your teenager stands in front of you, having done something they shouldn't have, they're not making a cold, calculated decision. They are in a full threat response. Their heart rate goes up, their palms sweat, and their brain scans for the fastest way out of that feeling. And sometimes, lying is the fastest way out. That doesn't make it okay, but it does mean that yelling louder, punishing harder, or taking away more things is not going to fix it. Because you're not dealing with a logic problem. You're dealing with a scared kid in an adult-sized body. Now, here's where it gets really interesting.
The real reason. And yes, this is the part that will surprise you. Okay, I promised you the real reason. Here it is. The number one reason teenagers lie to their parents is not because they don't respect you. It's not because they don't love you. It's because they're afraid of losing you. Let me explain what that actually means. Teenagers are at a stage of life where they are desperately trying to figure out who they are. They're exploring, they're making mistakes, they're trying on different versions of themselves, like outfits. And in that process, they do things that they know you won't approve of. Now, if they trust that your love is unconditional, that you might be upset, but you're not going anywhere, they'll be more likely to tell you the truth. But if somewhere along the way they got the message, even unintentionally, that your approval is conditional, that when they disappoint you, something between you breaks, they lie. Not to deceive you, to protect the relationship. Think about that for a second. Your teenager is lying to you because they care about what you think of them. The silence, the secrets, the cover stories, those aren't rebellion. They're self-preservation inside a relationship they're terrified to lose. Now, does knowing this change anything for you? Drop a comment below. I genuinely want to know. Because what I'm about to share next is the thing that most parents never do, and it changes everything.
What you're doing that makes it worse without knowing it. All right, I need to be direct with you here because this part is where parents get defensive, but it's also the most useful thing I'm going to say. There are 3 things parents do, completely unintentionally, that train teenagers to lie. Number 1, overreacting. I know, you have a right to your feelings, but when your teenager tells you something difficult, about a party, about a relationship, about a grade, and your immediate response is anger, lecture, or punishment, they remember that. And next time, they skip the disclosure. You don't have to pretend you're not upset, but there's a big difference between I'm upset and we need to talk about this, and I'm exploding right now and nothing you say will help. Number 2, asking questions you've already decided the answer to. Were you at Jake's house last night? Said with that tone. Your teenager knows you already know, and now they're not answering a question. They're choosing between a confession and a lie. That's not a conversation. That's a trap. Number 3, making them feel ashamed, not just accountable. Accountability sounds like what you did was wrong, and here are the consequences. Shame sounds like I can't believe you. I don't even know who you are anymore. One teaches responsibility. The other teaches hiding. And here's the hardest truth of all. If your teenager is lying to you constantly, it's not a sign that you failed as a parent. It's a sign that something in the communication between you needs to be rebuilt. And that is actually good news, because it means it can be fixed. What actually works? The shift that changes everything. So, what do you do instead? I want to give you 3 practical things you can start doing this week. Not theory, real things. First, create what I call the no consequence window. This is a designated time, maybe once a week. Could be during a drive, a meal, whatever works, where your teenager can tell you anything. And your only job is to listen. Not fix, not lecture, not react. Just listen. You will be amazed what comes out when a teenager believes they won't be punished for honesty. Second, start sharing your own failures. Not to be their friend, not to overshare, but to normalize imperfection. When you tell your teenager about a time you made a bad decision, a time you were scared, a time you messed up, something shifts. They stop seeing you as a judge and start seeing you as a person. And people talk to other people. They perform for judges. Third, separate the behavior from the person. What you did is not okay is very different from you are not okay. The first opens a door. The second closes one. When a teenager knows that their mistakes don't define them in your eyes, they stop having to hide the mistakes. Now, I want to be honest with you. These things take time. There's no script that fixes years of distance in a single conversation. But every single time you choose curiosity over judgment, every time you respond with, "Tell me more," instead of, "How could you?" you are making a deposit into a trust account that your teenager desperately needs.
The conversation you actually need to have. Here's something I want you to consider. The next time you catch your teenager in a lie, instead of confronting the lie, try this. Ask them, what were you afraid would happen if you told me the truth? Not as a trap, not sarcastically, as a genuine question. Because the answer to that question will tell you more about your relationship than any punishment ever could. If they say, "I thought you'd freak out," that's information. If they say, "I thought you'd stop loving me," that's a conversation you need to have immediately. And if they shrug and say, "I don't know," sit with that.
It might take a few tries before they trust that the question is real. The goal is not to raise a teenager who never lies. The goal is to raise a teenager who feels safe enough to choose truth, even when it's scary. That's the relationship worth building.
Before I get to the final point, I want to ask you something directly. Which one of those three things hit you hardest? Was it the overreaction piece, the shame versus accountability piece, or the idea that your teenager might be lying to protect the relationship? Drop it in the comments. One word, one sentence, whatever comes to mind. Because I read every single comment, and I want to know what resonated with you today. The last thing I want you to hear. You love your teenager. That's why you're watching this. And your teenager loves you. That's why they're lying. I know that sounds backwards, but love without safety produces silence. And silence looks like dishonesty from the outside. The good news is this. The relationship is not broken. It's waiting. Waiting for a moment where your teenager looks at you and thinks, maybe I can tell them. Your job, starting today, is to become that parent. Not the perfect parent, not the cool parent, the safe parent. The one they come to when things go wrong. The one who doesn't make them feel small for being human. That parent changes a teenager's life. That parent changes everything. If this video gave you something, a new perspective, a moment of recognition, even just one thing you want to try, then this channel was made for you. I post every week on the real conversations between parents and teenagers, not surface-level tips, the deep stuff. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, because next week, I'm going to talk about something that goes hand in hand with this. What to do when your teenager completely shuts down and stops talking to you altogether. That one is going to be important. I'll see you there.